So I managed to grab hold of David Whittaker from Mortgages for Business. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me,
Pleasure.
David. How's the expo going for you today so far?
It's fantastic. Of course, there wasn't an expo here last year, so the big question was how would the northern brokers respond to a show back in Manchester? And you can hear from the background buzz, I think it exceeds everyone's expectations. James Prosser might even be happy. So it's great to be back.
It is really good to have you here as well. And what would you say with regards to the Buytolet market? It seems to be booming. Do you think that's going to continue throughout 2014?
Well, we've just been debating that in the panel session, and there were some very wise heads in the room with James Chidgey from Mortgage Works, who after all are the biggest lender in that space. Buytolet this year we think is about 26 to 28 billion pounds. So it's about 14% of the market. That gets it back to the same ratio as pre-credit crunch, and there are good reasons for it performing well, but it should do well this year and in the years ahead.
And how do you think universal credits are affecting landlords?
Well, I'm rather hoping it won't affect the landlords themselves, but it's really going to be their tenants. And it's this old debate over those tenants who are on some form of income support, used to be called DSS support and is now universal credit. I think it's still bedding down. What worries landlords is the money is paid to the tenants and then the tenants pay the landlords. Now, for let's say 90% of them, that should be fine, but there is a small persistent minority of those where the tenant rent money will disappear off radar. So landlords, they've still got the jury out on that. They don't feel comfortable with it.
And do you think that landlords should scrap the outdated deposit scheme?
Well, there used to be the old scheme, but they brought the new ones in only less than 3 years ago, so they're still settling in. And of course, what you and I will always hear are the tenant dissatisfaction with not getting their deposits back. And I think the system could be better, and it will get better over time. But it's still a lot better position for tenants than it was 3 or 4 years ago. But the current solution isn't yet perfect.
And finally, what would you, for intermediaries, the advice you would give to them if they were starting out in this particular industry that you're in?
Well, of course, the big question is whether they're choosing to go into Buytolet to try and avoid some of the restrictions and extra work of MMR that hit the main market on the 26th of April. And the answer is, Buytolet's a good market to be in, but they shouldn't treat it any differently than a regulated mortgage product. They should do the work, they should do the research, and they should expect to be asked to justify the landlord's background income, tax positions, and the state of his portfolio. So it's not an easy route to avoid doing the regulatory work on an MMR contract. Buy-to-let lenders are equally curious and inquisitive about the background. So it's a good market to be in. They should be able to diversify their work for their customers in both regulated markets and non-regulated markets, but it's not a substitute for doing the job properly.
That's great advice. Thank you for your time today, David, and enjoy the rest of the expo. Thank you.